If you're new to wholesaling real estate and you're not sure the steps to take to make money, I'd like to take the chance during this video to switch your frame of mind and show you the 5 ways to assure yourself that you will go broke wholesaling real estate. And if you can take my advice and avoid all of the mistakes that I made in my wholesaling journey, then you can make your first $1, $10,000, and even $1 million wholesaling real estate. Now, the first way you can assure yourself to go broke wholesaling real estate is spending every single dollar from your deals on things other than your business. Now, let me unpack this for you. You wait months trying to get your first wholesale deal. You're dialing every single day. You're making the calls, you're putting in the work. And finally, you get a $10,000 check, the fruits of your labor. But then, once that wire hits your bank account, you go out on expensive dinners, expensive vacations, buying shoes and luxury items, things of this nature. Now, don't get me wrong, it's important to celebrate. You shouldn't only be on the grind, you should celebrate your wins. But what I see a lot of new wholesalers do, and what I did in the beginning, is spend all of my money on things that don't benefit my business. Think about it this way. If it costed you $0 to get a wholesale deal, say you did this just calling people on Zillow, and you make $10,000, and you blow all of that money, all $10,000, on things other than your business, guess what now you have to start with? $0. Now instead, if you use that $10,000 that you made, and you invest, say, $3,000 into the next couple months, trying to get your next deal, you'll get a deal not only way faster than you did the first time, but you also will probably get multiple deals. From $3,000, you might be able to get 2 deals. So you make $20,000. Then that next month, you can put in $6,000. Then that $6,000, maybe you can make $40,000. You see what I'm saying? It's compound interest. The more money you put in, the more money you get out. But if you spend all of your money right away and you don't leave anything on the table for your business to thrive, then you'll for sure go broke. Now, don't misunderstand. I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay yourself at all. You should definitely enjoy yourself and you should celebrate your wins. But don't leave your business as the secondary option that won't get paid. You want to pay your business first, and then the rest you can keep for yourself. Invest and then spend the rest. Now, the second way you can assure yourself that you will go broke wholesaling real estate is not making an offer on a property because the seller wants too much. Here's the scenario. A seller wants $400,000. All fixed up, maybe the house sells for $400,000, but it needs $50,000 in work. The seller obviously wants way too much, right? So what should you do? In your mind, you think the seller wants full retail price. It's not even worth making an offer on. You're wrong. The first number that the seller gives is almost never their actual number. Nobody starts a negotiation with their bottom dollar. But you'll never know unless you make that offer. When you're on the phones, you should be like a machine. Your process should be the same every single time. You should go through the same script, same motion. At the end of every single call, you make an offer. Every single time. If you just focus on the process and sticking to that process, the results will come by default. And if your reason in your head is that it just feels too uncomfortable to tell the seller a number that they don't want to hear, then cool, stay broke. Number 3 is one of the easiest traps to fall into. I fell into this same trap, and I'm sure you're falling into this trap right now. Thinking that you need to consume more content, you need to learn more before starting. When you're watching videos on how to start wholesaling real estate and you're learning all of this technical jargon and all different types of things, you feel good because you think that you're learning. You think that you're doing something with your time that is beneficial to you. And to some extent it is. But where most people fall into the biggest trap is over-consuming content instead of just starting. And here's the thing, is most wholesale videos out there are made to be complex. That's just the reality of it. Most people make the process seem too hard, when really it's disgustingly simple. The reason why they do this is so that you consume more content and you keep watching, and then you think that you need to grab this piece of information and then this piece of information. And then eventually you just don't wholesale. You just watch other people wholesale. You're not learning anything unless you change something about your behavior. So if you're watching all these wholesale videos, but you're not doing anything with that information, then you're not learning anything at all. You're just wasting your time. Wholesaling real estate is actually super simple. Let me walk you through the steps. Find a distressed property. It doesn't matter where it's coming from, whether it's Zillow or paid ads or wherever it's coming from. Just find a distressed property. Call the seller or agent. Then build rapport with them. This is a crucial step that most people miss. You become their friend, and then they'll sell to their friend. Then figure out what the property will sell for, all fixed up. This is what your ARV is, or after repair value. After that, you figure out what work needs to be done to the property, what type of repairs need to be done, whether it's just kitchen and bathrooms or a more extensive repair. You just need to find out what the property needs in order to get it to ARV HGTV condition. Then make an offer. And remember, you got to make an offer every single time. The seller will take lowball offers. If you're the highest lowball offer, they'll take it. So if they have a high price and you give them a lowball offer and it works, then you make money. If it doesn't, then you move on to the next one. Easy as that, right? After they accept the offer, and eventually someone will accept your offer, you send them a contract. After all of that, stop there. That's all you need to know right now. You don't need to watch videos on how to dispo, how to find the best JV agreement, anything like that. All you need to worry about is how to find a deal. A cash buyer is useless to you unless you have a property for them to buy. But then, after you nail this process down, then you can worry about the disposition side. Whether it's JVing with someone and you split the profits 50-50, or you find a buyer yourself through a software or through Facebook or whatever it may be, then you can find your buyer. After you JV with someone or after you find the buyer yourself, then you either send a JV agreement or you send an assignment of contract to the buyer. This is going to sell your rights to the buyer so that you don't have to buy the house yourself, right? After that, you put the property in title, make sure that there's no liens, judgments, anything like that, and then you close. Then you make your money. It's really that simple. Now, when newer wholesalers find a property that they know could be a good wholesale property, a lot of them get stuck figuring out the repairs that are needed to get this house in ARV condition. So what I've done is I've created a repair cheat sheet just for you. When you find a property and you don't know what repairs are needed to get a property into ARV condition, then you can just use this cheat sheet and you'll know exactly the amount of repairs needed to get this property in ARV condition. This is my free gift to you, just for being a supporter of the channel. So if you're someone who struggles with figuring out the repairs on a property, then just go to the link in the description, put in your email, and I'll send the repair sheet straight to your inbox. And if you stick around a little longer, I've got a couple more free goodies for you, just as a thank you from me to you. Now, the fourth way to go broke wholesaling real estate is by pulling generic lists. And now let me dive a little deeper into this. If you are pulling a list and it's just pre-foreclosures, or it's just absentee owners, or it's just vacant homes, or probates, or whatever it may be, if you're just pulling these individual lists, you're leaving so many deals on the table. Now, don't get me wrong, there's definitely deals within this data, but they're far and few between. Where most deals are gonna come from is when you stack these lists. Now, what do I mean by that? If you have someone who's in pre-foreclosure, or you have someone who is in pre-foreclosure, and it's also an inherited property, which property would you rather go after? I would rather go after the pre-foreclosure and inherited property. Why? Because there's more motivation there. Now imagine there's someone who is in pre-foreclosure, they haven't paid their mortgage, but they also haven't paid their taxes, and it's also an inherited property, and it's also a vacant property. How much more likely is that person to sell at a wholesale price than someone who is just in pre-foreclosure or just a vacant home? That overlap of pre-foreclosure, probate, vacant, behind on the taxes, that's where your leverage comes from. The people who are pulling pre-foreclosure data, everybody and their mom is going after. You know what people aren't going after? Is the stackable data. There's so many different ways to stack data that you can get lists, you can get deals from basically anywhere. Don't focus on just one motivation. Stack your data, Stack your motivation. If you don't stack your data, you'll waste your data. Now, before I get into the fifth and final way to go broke wholesaling real estate, I want to share another little gift with you. Everything in this video, I've created into a downloadable PDF file that you can see on the go. So you don't have to watch this video again. You can see it wherever you are. In this PDF, you can see all the different ways to go broke wholesaling real estate and how to avoid these different mistakes so that you don't make the same mistakes I did. I've also left a little surprise for those who do download it in the description. If you go to the description, click the link, fill out your information, it'll get sent straight to your inbox. Again, just as a free gift to say thank you for supporting the channel. I really try to make the best content possible in order to bring the most value to you as possible. So again, thank you. The last, final, the fifth way to go broke wholesaling real estate is to be impatient with your results. Now, what do I mean by that? I hear a lot of wholesalers, and this cracks me up every time I hear this. They say, I want to close my first deal in about 2 weeks, and then I want to scale to 5 to 10 deals a month. What does that even mean? You want to find a deal, get it under contract, sell it into your first 2 weeks wholesaling real estate, and then just scale to 5 to 10 deals a month. Is it possible for this to happen? Sure, anything's possible. Is it likely to happen? No. Is it normal? Also no. You need to understand, it takes most wholesalers months and months and even years to get their first wholesale deal. Most people underestimate the amount of time that it's going to take in order to get a wholesale deal, and then they quit too soon. Here's how it looks. Someone comes in from day trading and they find out about wholesaling and they think, I can get a deal in 2 weeks and make $10,000 and then I'll scale to 5 to 10 deals a month, right? They do that for 2 weeks, maybe a month. They lose their motivation and they quit and they start drop shipping or whatever the next big thing is, right? They don't stick to one thing. Now, you can't control when a deal closes. You can't control the motivation of a seller. You can't control these different factors. What you can control is your own inputs. You control the amount of calls you make. You control the amount of offers you make. You control everything that you do in the business. So if you can control the amount of input that you put into the business, then the output comes by default. If you put up so much input, then the output is just inevitable. But if you put in just a little bit of work and you think that you're gonna get so much output, move on to the next thing. It's really the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard in my life. And if that's you, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but it's most likely not gonna happen. You have to be patient, it's a business. If you can name someone that's done this, then by all means, try to do that. But most likely, you're not gonna be able to do that. It's gonna take months, maybe a year. It took me 4 or 5 months to get my first deal. So if you're just patient with the output and you just put in so much input, if you're impatient with your input, then deals will come inevitably. Overall, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that I was able to bring some value to you. Every video that I make, I try to think of the amount of value that I can bring to you so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. If you're able to find even a little bit of value, if you don't mind, just subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. You don't have to turn on notifications if you don't want to. It really doesn't affect me. The only thing that affects me is if you subscribe. So that would really help me out a lot. I try to push out the best content possible. So if you could do that, that'd be greatly appreciated. But until next time, peace.